yes. Welcome back to 108 Dragons TV, baby. It's your host, Lemon23, aka Lemetheus, right hand of Zeus. And yeah, this video, as you see with this title, this is Amazon's Luna, and I've been playing this for a minute, and I'm going to take y'all through my experience. I'm going to explain it to you. We're going to see if this can compete with Xcloud and Stadia. We know Stadia is at a serious decline in people that subscribe, and right now Xcloud seems to be just taking the streaming service battle. And now we have a new contestant entering the ring, Amazon, and we know their pockets are deep. We know they have great servers, but this video is going to let you know my experience with Luna, and is it worth you going outside of your ecosystem to try to test this out also. Let's get into the video. Now, as you see here, there's an assortment of games to select. A lot of these games we already seen. They're charging $4.99 as a subscription, but this is what's different than Stadia. Now, maybe not quite different, because Luna has channels set up for individual publishers. Now, as you see Watch Dogs, you see Far Cry, you also see Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and as you see here, Watch Dogs Legions is on a Ubisoft channel, which you have to pay separately. Now, in terms of competition, Xcloud, whatever is on Xcloud, you don't have to pay per publisher. So what I did was, I said, you know what, I'm not going to subscribe to other channels, so we're trying Panzer Dragoon. Now let's check this out and see how it plays. Now, what's good about Luna, you can take your generic Xbox controller or your PS4 controller or a Bluetooth controller or wired controller and just hook it up, and it will recognize it as a default generic controller. And you don't, as you see, the escape button changes to the B button. Once I hit the input on the controller, Luna automatically recognized that I had a controller and didn't have to use keyboard and mouse. What you have to use keyboard and mouse is in the menus. But once the game gets started, it's pretty much a console experience. The loading was pretty good, but we're about to getting to the gameplay and why I chose a game like Panzer Dragoon and my second game that I decided to play or have been playing, which is the tennis game, which was, I'm looking for the response and the connectivity, and I'm looking at a 350 download and 150 upload internet service, which is way more than optimal for this type of streaming service. Now let's get into the graphics. Right now, the game looks gorgeous. It looks good, but technically, the way that I'm moving now, it was very, very twitchy. Now from this gameplay here, it may look like I'm responding properly, but the game truly had some issues. Now I know this is a beta and I've been testing it for a couple months now, but the controls was off and the timing was off. So I said, you know what, I need to try out another game that I think can bring something in terms of how well Luna controlled on a faster paced game. This is a pretty locked camera and you can pan around your dragon, but this was a good example of let me just switch off between this gameplay and just let me go into how the controls are going to feel and the connectivity. And it was very hard to keep the reticle on the enemies. It was very twitchy. Now, I did not expect this coming from Amazon, who has plenty of experience with great service, and they had great service. But we're going to get into our next game, and then we're going to get into the final overall what I've been thinking about these past few months demoing this. But they have a lot of work to do, and even Stadia controls better than this when I had tried that out. So I really think they need some work, but I'm gonna show you tennis and how really bad it was, and I couldn't even respond to balls being served to me. Check this out. as we go into Tennis World Tour 2, this was going to be a game I really wanted to test the connection, because the few games that I did try, the connection is really not good. Even when I first tested out Stadia, it was a better experience. Look at this serve here. Look how he hits the ball, then he reacts. I mean, I literally pressed it on time, and they have a lot of work ahead of them to do, and I really can't recommend this, and I'm going to continue to beta test, but I'm not going to invest into the ecosystem of paying for other channels like a Ubisoft channel, because I really don't see the benefit until they get the basics down in terms of servers and connectivity. It's still an early alpha to beta stage, but people, this was not a good experience. Stadia was so much of a better beta. Xcloud was so much of a better beta, and I'm running top-notch hardware. I'm gonna show you some of the settings, but just check out this gameplay. It looked fine. The visual quality wasn't good. They didn't really have 4K 60 available yet. That's a future update. But running at 1080p 60 frames, the stuttering on the screen is evident. I mean, they have a ton of work to be implemented into their server side, and I'm running super optimal downloads and uploads, and I couldn't, and I'm using an Xbox controller, I couldn't get the game to respond fast enough for me to be able to return a serve. So this was a great game to test out, and I'm going to go into the settings now. I just want y'all to check this out, and yeah, pretty much they have a lot of work to do at the end of the day. So let's check out these settings, and then we're going to close out the video. Now, as you see here, these are basic settings that they give you to control. Nothing spectacular. Like I said, the future updates for 4K 60 frames is not available yet. They will have that soon enough. But what I will say, you can stream within the app. What you do is you download the desktop icon and you can launch it directly from your desktop. And if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can control your subscriptions through the Amazon subscription app area. So that's pretty much implemented into your Prime. I thought that was pretty decent. But in terms of connectivity, graphics, Panzer Dragoon froze several times, and the control was wonky. It was not a smooth transition between the controller, the game, and their servers. I really can't recommend this right now. I will continue to beta test this and bring y'all guys more. But as usual, like and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated. And yes, I'm still working on doing that podcast preview. Hopefully by this weekend, I'm gonna get that out. It's a lot of work to be done. Shout out to my boy Sick, who's gonna help me display that to you guys. But yeah, I really can't recommend Luna, man. I really wanted to, but you can beta test it for yourself. They're still taking people to sign up, so sign into it and test it for yourself. Maybe you have a different experience, but I do have optimal servers and stuff like that on my side. So, and I got a beast of a PC in terms of hardware. And if they're doing this through web browsers on Android and iOS, it's gonna be a lot of work. I'll see y'all in the next video. I appreciate everybody. Peace. Your boy is out. Cheers.